basically share my experience with seeking a single stair approval in the City of Toronto for my Sixplex. I hope you can sustain the emotional roller coaster, which is my heart-rending story of submission, rejection, and salvation, ultimately, which is really the story of this process. Just by way of, where do I do this? Backstory, same image again. So basically, we bought this property. We really wanted to build a very friendly building that was accessible to a range of different types of users. That would be for people who wanted to age in place, would be for young families, people with strollers, people with mobility issues. And that is why, for example, we put an elevator in, so all the units are accessible by elevator. We wanted something that presented really good quality units as well, and also something that would be replicable, preferably not by me, but by other people. In terms of constructability, it's basically a simple box with a balcony attached to it. Whoops. And when we started the process, we started with a conventional approach. The top left scheme there, you'll see that we had two separate communal stairs in the building, and we realized probably not soon enough that this was not economically viable. So we had to look for other ways to deal with the issue. We, along with Office U, our architects, looked at every other possibility for stair configurations probably known to mankind, including the more conventional, which is the 6 private stairs, a fire escape with one internal stair, although because of the configuration of units, that was going to require 2 separate fire escapes, which has a whole other set of issues in terms of taking up land and privacy and impeding the facades and windows along the front and back. And we ultimately realized a single stair just really makes the most sense, like especially in a small footprint building. The footprint of this building is 2,300 square feet. And obviously the stairs are pretty much of a fixed size and shape, so the smaller the building, the larger the percentage of space devoted to stairs. So the efficiency of that really helped the building become financially viable. And then the other really important thing for us was to make sure that these units were really great units. So, and the single stair is really what allowed that to happen. So our floor plan is not compromised by successive stairs going every which way. We put the stair core in the middle. And so the whole frontage of the building is windows. The whole back facade of the building is windows and livable space. So this makes these really great, high quality, livable units. We could have done the conventional thing because we had a wide lot, which is to divide the lot in half and then do, a semi-detached fourplex, for example. But for us, the value proposition was really in creating these really good livable units that, again, still have very high sellable and rentable areas, the great layouts, a higher value product, I think, that really in Toronto seems only to be available at the high end of the market, at the luxury end of the market, and also something that would, again, be would appeal to a wide range of people and users, downsizers, young families. Because of the accessibility and the quality of the unit, it really can substitute for a house or for someone moving out of a house who's looking for livable space. And in fact, every person that we've talked to about this building asks, can they have a unit, or can their mother move in, or can their kid move in? So I think that's a good sign, and it is intended to be a multi-gen building. So moving on to submission. As it happens, the time we were considering this, council passed a motion saying we are open to accepting proposals for single-stair buildings up to 4 stories. And what we had to do was hire Jack Keys and submit a report that showed that our building was as safe or safer than a 2-stair building of a similar kind. And we thought, heck, no problem. It's a small building. There's only 1 unit on the top floor, small footprint, very short travel distances to the exits. What could they possibly want? Well, I guess the answer was quite a bit. Our initial submission, April 2025, the main thing was that we sprinklered the building. We widened the stair from what would normally be 900 millimeters to 1,100 millimeters, and we enhanced the fire rating of suite-to-suite separations, et cetera, to be 1 hour rather than, I think, 45 minutes is what would normally be required. And the city reviewed our proposal and came back with comments. The main issues were really about smoke control in the stairwell. We had a passive skylight in the stairwell. They said that wouldn't control smoke in the stairwell, and neither would the sprinkler. And that the stair width was not sufficient, and they were particularly concerned with contraflow. That is, the firefighters going up while the residents are going down, and they wouldn't be able to pass each other in the stair, even though our evacuation timing analysis said everybody would be out of the building before the fire department even showed up, because there's hardly anybody in the building to begin with, and it's only 2 flights down the stairs. Nonetheless, we resubmitted our application. We widened the stair a bit. We also deepened the landings so that if you did actually need to pass by in the stair, you could do that on the landings. We smoke sealed the doors, and we fire rated the balcony. Rejection. So the city, fire department, building department said we had not met the test to show that our building was as safe or safer than a comparable 2-stair building. And what they required, in addition to the enhancements we'd already made, were either to have vestibules or a corridor. So our building was unique in that the unit doors open directly into the stairwell. That in and of itself is a no-no under the building code and would in and of itself have required an alternative solution proposal. They didn't like that, that our stairwell had to have mechanical pressurization to deal with the smoke. Balconies had to be fire rated as areas of refuge, and that the stair should be even wider than the widened stair, but how wide they would not say. So, Salvation, on the very same day that we received the email saying that they will not proceed with our application unless we agree to these things, lo and behold, I received a phone call saying that the mayor's office had caught wind of this issue with the help of one person in particular in this room, and that she had asked the chief building official to work with us to come up with a solution to this problem, because obviously everybody wants to see single-stair multiplex buildings being built, especially livable, accessible units in neighborhoods. So within the matter of a few days, we had reached an agreement. In the end, they were very insistent on really only one thing, which was that we provide vestibules, which we did not want to do because either that means adding to the circulation area and then we lose the efficiency again, basically renders the single stair, moot. We might as well go back to 2 stairs at that point. And so we agreed to do pressurization in the stairwell. So there's a fan basically that comes on if there's smoke detected, rather than creating vestibules, which for us would have been a bigger impact. But presumably in a building that has vestibules, mechanical pressurization in the stairwell would not be required. So in conclusion, I think we are really at a multiplex moment right now. I mean, given the number of people in this room, we're at the point, hopefully, where a lot of multiplexes are going to be built over the next few years. So I think this is really a critical moment to try and get this right, particularly on the single stair, and particularly on like a Sixplex in a Part 9 building, that the city, instead of waiting till 2035, when however many multiplexes hopefully will have been built by then, that the city adopts a guideline that just says, look, you have a building, it's Part 9, it's a maximum floor area, maximum occupancy. If it's that size and you do these 3 measures, it's approved. You don't have to go through any additional process. We'll grant you an alternative solution. And to me, that would be really something that should be happening very, very quickly to seize this multiplex moment. Thank you.